We are here on Real Estate in the Lowcountry, and with me is Sheri Nixon. She is, of course, with Keller Williams Luxury. Always good to see you.
Great to be here.
So there's a lot going on in the real estate world these days. Much has changed since the last time you were here. It's not really going to go into effect necessarily until July. We're not going to get bogged down in all the minutia of the lawsuit and everything, but we do want to talk a little bit about what things might be affected. And so
yes, there is a lot of information in the media, misinformation as well. So there's a lot of talk.
Yeah. And so we want to start on the buyer's side. So
yes,
people are saying maybe buyers are going to say, well, I'm not going to have a buyer's agent. I'm going to try and find my house on my own. And so obviously that may sound easy. That may sound like a great idea.
Right. I have a lot of thoughts about that.
Yeah,
and my
I'm
thoughts
sure you
are,
do.
Don't do that.
Right.
There's so much that goes into being a buyer's agent. And Shannon Sheehan and I work together. We both work with our buyers. And around here, I mean, there is a lot of information they need to know.
Right. I mean, our area, I know I'm not going to make light of it anywhere else in the country because, of course, it's a job and you've got to do it well.
Yes.
But here in particular, we've got gated communities. We've got all kinds of hoops that you have to jump through to even see a house.
Right, absolutely. So not to mention that, no signs, no all the communities to get into.
Right.
Yet even that, let's say you just could get into them all, you have to know the difference with Belfair, Berkeley, Colleton, Forest Beach. There's so much to know.
Right.
And we can spend years with people ahead of time, really talking them through those communities, finding out what their needs are. Really, a lot of people don't know what their own needs are. They don't realize that, oh, I've got a dog. I can't be next to a lagoon. There's some things that you may pay no attention to if you weren't represented and didn't have someone doing that.
Or even I might think, oh, I might want to rent my house at some point, but you're in a community that doesn't allow it.
You don't allow it. So if they're unrepresented, nobody's able to tell them those things. So they need it. And the other misperception is that we don't even get paid unless we find a house that the buyer wants, that loves, at the price they want to buy it. Otherwise we do spend, as I say, it can be years working with someone and not get paid. So it's not as if just talking to us we get paid. It's really a success fee that we're paid, because if we don't find you a house, there's nothing.
Yeah.
So that is so important. And then two, just the writing of
I was
the
going to
contract.
say, you've got to write, and you need somebody who knows, especially in this area when really recently we've had multiple offers coming on homes.
Yes, you need someone who can help you navigate on that and help you know, like, what are some pointers and things that I can do to make my offer accepted.
Right.
And I feel really good about that. I have had a lot of success with that, really helping them through it. And then two, keeping the transaction together.
Yeah.
Because there's so much. They won't know the vendors, who's the inspector I should use, should I have a mold person come in?
Right.
There's a lot that they don't know. And so to try to keep it together on their own, I mean, there's a reason that all these years we've had a buyer's agent and a listing agent. It's hard even with the two of us keeping the buyer and seller apart.
Yeah.
And two, the contracts, there's a lot of litigation that can go on if you don't have someone protecting your interests.
So we could talk about this forever because there's so much to get into.
Absolutely.
And we've obviously covered the buyer sides, but I want to make sure we've got about a minute left that we jump to the seller side and talk to you a little bit from that perspective.
Yes. Well, I certainly think that a seller wants someone represented by a buyer's agent on the other side. It's proven that the most litigation that happens are unrepresented buyers and sellers. So their unrepresented buyers are suing sellers over contracts. They didn't know enough about the contract. They didn't know enough about the inspection items. That's when they're most in trouble, and it's a litigious world right now anyway.
Right.
So I don't know why a seller would want to set themselves up to hope that buyers come unrepresented, because what they're going to save on that a little bit amount of commission, it's a lot more money to pay legal fees.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true.
Yeah, and another last point, if we've got a second, is last year, I mean, I've had 8 agents from other cities coming to buy property on Hilton Head Island, and they have used me. They know how to negotiate, they're mega agents, yet they did not want to not have a local realtor representing them. So they were willing to let me get that commission they could have gotten into their own pocket, and instead they wanted that representation.
Well, because obviously, as we said before, we're kind of a unique place here, and so you need somebody that's got that expertise and knowledge.
Absolutely, yes.
Well, what a fascinating topic this has been. Thank you for sharing it with us today.
Good to be here.